Hi, I'm going to list off all the names of goats. There's the Nubian goat, the dwarf goat, fainting goat, the pygmy goat, the Angora goat. Well, I won't want to bore you all by telling you all of those goats, but I am going to bore you by telling you all about the Boer goat. Hi, I'm Jack Bertelson, and I'm from the Hancock County and the Elkhorn Indians 4-H Club. And today I'm going to tell you all about the Boer goat. First, I'm going to list some names and terms that I'll be referring to today as I go through my presentation. A lot of people think that a normal goat is just called a billy goat. Like children's books like Billy Goat's Gruff kind of say that it is, but actually it's not. A billy goat is actually the male breeding goat, and a male goat that is not used for breeding is called a wether. Female goats are called dolings or nannies. I will be referring to them as dolings today. And baby goats, they are called kids. Now I'm going to talk about my history and how I got involved with Boer goats. Last fall, my ag teacher challenged me with a project, and that we'd come up with a project that we would keep through our high school career or through just our freshman year. And a lot of people did like mowing jobs or taking care of pets or animals, and I didn't want to do anything like that. So I thought about raising goats, and I talked to my dad, and he said I could use our old pasture if I wanted to, but we didn't know what type of goat to get. We thought about milk goats or different type of goats, but then we realized there was actually a market for goat meat, so we decided to get meat goats, and I decided to get Boer goats. I got six Boer goats, 6 dolings from early this spring, and I've had those I still have those, and I will be using them for my breeding herd. And we did not know that when we got one of them, she was pregnant, so we also had a baby kid, which was really fun, and it was really fun. So that added our total up to 7. And then about 6 weeks ago, me and my dad went and got a billy goat, and he's breeding my dolings right now. Now I'm going to tell you about the real history of the Boer goat. The Boer goat was started in the South African area. Nobody really knows where it was started, but they know it was South Africa. They took their own goats and bred them with European imports. The point, of course, was to have a strong, sturdy meat goat that survived the African climate while also maintaining a high birth rate, high survival rate, and be able to produce a lot of meat. The Boer goat name Boer goat name came from a Dutch word, boer, meaning farmer. And when I think of farmer, I think of strong, sturdy build, very muscular, and that's what a Boer goat is. Later on, the Boer goat kept on improving and started to get moved around the world. In 1887, the Boer goat was imported to New Zealand and Australia, which are 2 of the leading producers of goat meat today. Since then, goats have been imported everywhere. The United States imports 25 million pounds of goat meat each year, which is hard to believe, but there is a high demand for goat meat. I want to tell you a little bit about the goat meat now. A lot of you know what a beef cattle and Holstein cattle look like. Holstein on one hand is bonier, not as much meat. You really want to eat that cow. But when you think about a beef cow, you think of strong, sturdy, muscular. You would want to eat that cow. So that's what I think of when I think of the Boer goat and a different type of goats. The different type of goats are more lean and not as thick and muscular, where the Boer goat is like the beef cattle, strong, sturdy, muscular, and a lot of meat. Goat meat is the #1 consumed meat in the world. It's hard to believe, but it's over chicken, pork, or beef. But if you think about it, all the third world countries eat goat, and it's easy for them to produce and raise. I have some, from the USDA, I have goat meat facts about calories, fat, saturated fat, protein, iron, and cholesterol. And if you took 3 ounces of cooked chicken, pork, beef, lamb, goat meat. In calories, goat meat only ranks second, only to chicken. And goat meat has less saturated fat and less fat than any other meat. It has more protein than any other meat. It also has more iron, and it has less cholesterol than any other meat. So it is one of the healthiest meats to eat. Just like any other animal, goats can be shown around the world. Today at the Iowa State Fair, if you go down to the swine barn, that's where the goats are, and there's a bunch of goats down there, and they are showing them today. It is very popular, and it has kept on improving over the years. And right now, if you go down there, they're clipping them and shaving their heads and washing them and doing all that stuff. And I think that's really cool, and that's really fun, because this year at the Hancock County Fair, I showed 2 of my goats, and it was a really fun time. The first time I ever showed a goat, and the only goats at our fair, so it was really fun just to have a goat there and just showing them. Caring for my goats, I keep them in a pasture all year round, and they can graze on their pasture. And I feed them twice a day, a corn protein mixture with soybean meal and different types of protein in there. And that's 2 times a day we feed them, just to keep them healthy and keep them building muscle and meat. We also keep them on full feed hay, which they love to eat, and they would eat it all day if they could. And talking about my goats, I have, like I said, 8 goats right now, and they've been really fun to have around, except when they get out, because they get out a lot, and me and my dad have just struggled with fighting fence a long time. They're probably out right now roaming around the farm, but they don't hurt anything, so we'll put them in right away, but they'll just get right out. But I will get the fence fixed. And when we had that baby goat, it was really fun to have around, because we had friends come over and family, and they love seeing the goats. They're really enjoyable to have around. They're kind of like a dog. They want your attention. They always come up to you once you get scratched. So I recommend getting goats. And to review, first of all, I talked about how I got involved and how many goats I got. My ag teacher challenged me with a project, and I really wanted to do something out of the ordinary. We talked about the history of the Boer goat and how it came from South African nations and how it was built for a strong, sturdy meat goat. We talked about the goat meat and how healthy it is and how much is eaten. We also talked about how many goats I have and what's fun with goats, and about showing goats. There's not much care for goats, but they are fun to have around. Are there any questions? The question was, where do you buy goat meat at? Not a lot of grocery stores have them, but if you buy them from special farmers, I might sell my goats to direct buyers in town or something. But you usually have to go to a sale barn to get the goat, or you can order them, have your grocery store special get goat for you, goat meat for you. Yes.
Since this is a new project for you, how big do you want to grow the project?
The question was, how big do I want to grow? Well, the farm that we went and got my goats from, they had over 400 goats, which goats were everywhere, but my dad says I can't do that many, so I don't think I can take care of that many. So I'm hoping to get to 20 dolings and keep breeding them, and then I'll sell the kids and just keep my 20 dolings. So.
Weight-wise, how big are you willing to spend for your butcher?
For what?
Weight-wise, how big do they get for your butcher?
The question was, how big do they get for the butcher? Well, there is a special demand, Jews and Muslims really like them around Christmas time and Easter, so that's when I'll try to get my breeding cycles to go through. But they actually like them at 40 pounds, so they're really small, so I don't know if I'll be able to get rid of them that small, because they're still like a baby almost, but that's when they like the small, red, tender meat. Or you can sell them at market weight, which is 125, 150 pounds. Are there any more questions?
Which goat is the best for eating?
The question was, which goat is the best for eating? And I have not tried goat meat yet. Hopefully this winter we'll be able to get one butchered. I'm excited to eat one. I don't know what my family is, but I'm excited. And I do not know. I think it's just like pig. It's wethers and dolings that we sell to eat. You don't really eat the billies because they're usually older. It's tougher meat. The question was, do I keep them in a barn over the winter? And we have them in a barn right now. They can walk in and walk out of their barn. That's where they usually stay at night. And in the wintertime, door. It's almost like a doggy door for them to go in and go out to keep the cold air out. But they'll still go out some. If there are no more questions, this concludes our presentation.